Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We've got some events to kick off to get us started. First, the illness of Nikolai Romanov. This seems like a country-specific event, maybe? Oh boy, I hope that doesn't mean we're about to crash here. The difficulties facing the Russian nation have weighed heavily on Tsar Nikolai Romanov. He has fallen severely ill of pneumonia and is refusing treatment. He will not hear our objections. He has traveled to survey his soldiers, though through more and more severe frost. He has fallen ill the first and second times, and yet refuses to rest. He can be found in his study or on the field. The doctor's eyes flick to the side, untrusting of the confidence of the hallway. This is worse than death. I fear this is suicide. There is no time to waste lying on a sick bed. He dies. Cajole him into seeking treatment. He gains sickly. This reduces his health and his pop group attraction. Nikolai Romanov is arrogant, pious, and imposing. None of these are super good traits. Aleksandr Romanov is meticulous, romantic, and an alcoholic. As ruler, +2 influence. That's fun. You know what? He can go. With the end of Nicholas I's reign, Aleksandr Romanov has ascended to the Russian throne as Aleksandr II, Tsar of all the Russians. His reign is hoped by many liberal bureaucrats to hail a new era of reform. In the face of God invisibly co-present with us, we accept the sacred vow to always have the welfare of our fatherland as one goal. Yes, guided, patronized by the providence that calls us to this great service, let us establish Russia at the highest level of power and glory. May the constant desires and views of our august predecessors, blessed and unforgettable, be fulfilled through us. Long live the Tsar! Interesting. The Great Reformer. Extra political strength for aristocrats and bureaucrats, more bureaucracy, and market liberal characters more likely to appear in Russia for the duration of his reign. Excellent. Long live the Tsar. Next, we have advancement in medicine. Members of the Russian-Prussian Fellowship are greatly impressed by the advancements Prussia have made in medicine. With urgency, they seek to model the Prussian approach to medical innovation. A lobby member that has recently returned from touring Prussia and speaking with Prussian doctors shares more about the experience. The medical accomplishments of Prussia are quite spectacular. Should we take after their example, it would only improve the standing of Russia. Send some of our finest to study medicine in Prussia, improves relations and +3 appeasement for the fellowship, or research their methodology immediately. This costs us cash and gives us progress on pharmaceuticals. You know I'm going to do the second one. I love getting me some innovation progress. Pharmaceuticals is where? It's actually almost done. That's rad. Futatoro talent. We see an opportunity to call on the obligation Futatoro owes us by requesting the services of their commanders, Sekifodio. Sekifodio. You know, I don't need this. I don't know how I got a talent from Futatoro. I think it's probably an internal reform event, but regardless, Futatoro is down here. An obligation is worth more than the skills of just one man. I don't necessarily need to bring in a guy. And then finally we have an exile at the gates. The relatively lenient Russian immigration laws have long been attractive to those fleeing their home nations. Recently, Georgy Orlov has petitioned to join the stream of people moving to Russia. It was one name on a very, very long list. One that had passed through multiple layers of bureaucracy before being noticed. One fateful day, however, one clerk at the end of his shift pointed to the name and spoke those fatal words. I can swear I've heard of him before. Eventually, Georgy Orlov too will be Russian, and we will not have someone like this regardless of precedent. So he is a reformer. He's already Russian, but he's in exile. He's armed forces aligned. You know, okay, he can come in. Alright, let's get started here. We're still in a war with Bukhara, but that should be done pretty soon. They've got war support protection for the time being because we're only holding one of the states that we need, but our force comparison here is so good that I'm feeling extremely confident in our ability to get there. If I can bring... So we do have slightly reduced authority. If I bring the industrialists into the government, that would give us a ton of Oh, that would make the government unacceptable. That's very sad. We need stronger industrialists. I want to get colonization going over here. Actually, could I do it by bringing... Who cares about colonization? Armed forces, rural folk, petite bourgeoisie. Obviously, colonial resettlement would be ideal, but we'll see. I can get the armed forces in here. I would stay legitimate. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Alright, so... And we'll actually go to colonial resettlement. This is going to make the rural folk big mad, but... I don't know. I don't see them really being able to do anything about it, so... Feeling pretty confident overall. Alright. I'm just going to set all those up. We're definitely going to need to capitulate them fully before we can get anywhere. Let's take a look at our power block. We're closing in. We're closing in on having enough leverage over Moldavia to bring them in. If I build more buildings in Moldavia, that could be really helpful. Of course, again, I would love to have the professional army. Oh, I probably should have done this first. But it's okay. It is what it is. And Bukhara is now ours. Alright, so the ruler of the East decision claim on Primorier would cost me 7 infamy. So I need to get down to 17 in order to not go above 25. Ooh, Golden Colima. Wonderful. That's just great. That's exactly what I need. And we are nearly done with the construction queue, which is nice. Very nice, in fact. Let's take a look at our market once again. Yeah, we're still working on getting those motor industries ready to go. Clothing is really expensive. Luxury clothing is not. We're bringing in a ton of that from trade routes. Where are we bringing it in from? That's an export route. Other people are bringing it into the country. Other countries in our thing, that's why. Interesting. Prussian-Russian Fellowship demands action. Requests that we establish an embargo on Great Britain. Great Britain is a known opponent of Prussian interests. We must be as comprehensive as possible. Any other approach is irresponsible. British aggression is as old as the hills. I fear that it may appear as if we are using our own nation as a piece on a chessboard for the sake of a foreign power. What would you say if pressed? A circumstantial alignment will not subordinate us. In this case, Prussian interests happen to be Russian interests. It is simple as that. I'll embargo Great Britain. We'll look into this. That's also going to make the anti-British people happy. Confirm. And then empty pockets. A series of perceived poor decisions by the movement to enact a professional army has led to a notable decrease in its ability to raise money. Numerous wealthy sympathizers have quietly halted their support for the movement in its current form. We do not wish to appear partisan. Always the same refrain. The organizer paced back and forth within his tiny office, fist clenched until it felt as if his knuckles were about to burst through his skin. Occasionally he stole a glance at the unopened envelopes on his desk, all of which he knew would repeat a variation on the same. Partisan. What did it mean? That they cared for something? That they'd chosen to do something beyond count the money in their vaults? He had something important to do, something which would improve society itself. They had a chance to do the same. In that light, how could partisanship possibly be bad? Perhaps it will find alternative source of funds? 2% of Pops in Ingria become loyalists, reduce political movement support, or everything dies in the end, some faster than others, minus 15% movement support. I'm going to go with the first one. That seems like all positives. I want to keep my movement for professional army, because professional army is ultimately good for the country. And now we've completed our lobby demand. That makes the anti-British group and the pro-Prussian group happy. Starting at Piedmont starts the Republic of San Marco. And we got a quick success into consideration already. That's excellent. We're probably not going to have one of those too much longer, but it is a good thing to have right now in the immediate term. So, in terms of construction queue, we have all these railways, but we need to start building up some additional bureaucracies because... Oh, I need to normalize production methods in the conquered territory. Kandahar is currently a dominion. I'm going to decrease their autonomy to puppet. This is going to increase the liberty desire of all of my other subjects, but that's okay. The only one I'm concerned about is Serbia, but we'll get them going down soon enough. So, Kandahar holds most of Turkmenistan, so I'm just going to give them southern Turkestan, rather. And that's going to bump their liberty desire back down. And now they're mostly holding a lot of Afghan territory. They still haven't taken over Chitral. Do I have... I can conquer these territories, but I can't... I can't return them, I don't think. Conquer and conquer. Yeah. So it's gonna be slow if I wanna actually take over all of Chitral. And the Sikh Empire is holding Pashtunistan, which is part of... Yes, which is part of Kandahar's sort of ethnic homelands territory. Pashtun people. Well, half Punjabi. Interesting. Well, you know, we'll figure... I don't want to make a claim, I'm just saying it feels like they've got Pashtun as the primary culture. The area is called Pashtunistan. Maybe whoever named it that is the reason it is, but regardless, it feels like they should get it. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to steal this territory, is what I'm saying. I'm going to do an imperialism. Anyway, the housing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Pavel Nakhimov, leader of the armed forces, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of colonial resettlement. Making an appearance before the public in St. Petersburg's main square, Pavel Nakhimov's powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across Russia, fanning the fires of an already roaring debate. This should ease the path to reform greatly, 15% enactment chance. Or, performances like this reflect well on Nakhimov and his cause. Stronger armed forces, 10% enactment chance. I'm going to go with the second one, actually, because stronger armed forces are going to help me enact professional army over here. How's it going? 189. I feel like that's not as high as I would like it to be. We are a little bit low cohesion. We get more leverage generation for being high cohesion. We can get this up from having Serbia have lower liberty desire, which I can't currently do. So, I think in the meantime, the thing I'm going to have to do is build stuff in Moldavia. Shirking with Shanxi, you know what? I will accept. Let's see, let's build some textile mills. Those seem good, and we'll build some furniture manufactories, and we'll build some iron mines. I'm just going to build a metric ton of stuff over there. I'll put that at the bottom of my current things. And after that, we'll see how our leverage looks. Wallachia, I'll probably do the same. These paper mills are fully employed. Tooling workshops would be nice. Population, oh, they got a lot of population available. Infrastructure is good. So yeah, let's go ahead and build some tooling workshops and some coal mines. And some iron mines. It's interesting. I didn't know you could build silk plantations in Wallachia. That's actually really good. Ooh, Shanxi has a pro-Russian lobby. Excellent. Hey, Tuva, how's your war going? Of course, our revolt is almost out of commission here. And our infamy is low enough that I could go after Manchuria. So let's do it. Press claim on Primorye. With our present leverage over the Manchu government, we've proposed a treaty to draw a formal border in Manchuria, formally transferring Primorye to Russia. The articles of this treaty will come into force from the day they are exchanged by the representatives of one and the other state, and must be performed for all eternity, sacrally and inviolably. Open the territories to greater settlement, 50% migration traction, or there must be no delay in the expansion of our ports. Extra state construction efficiency and less migration traction. I'm going to go with the first one. I can definitely build a port here, but it's not urgent. Beautiful. So we got the territory we need. Secure a Korean protectorate. Oh, boy! Well, look at all this. We'll complete if Joseon is the subject of Russia. Ooh, and that'll get us another 10 points. This is fun. I realize the great game took us all the way this way. What's our leverage over Joseon? Oh, it looks terrible. Okay, Joseon is not pleased with us. Relations are neutral. How much infamy? 40 infamy. I cannot simply take them. That's alright. We got another gold rush event. I'm going to say mine, it's all mine, in the same way in which I always do. This is Buryatia. A lot of gold fields in Buryatia. Alright. So that's interesting. So our next target is Uighurstan. We need to get Altai and Ili. So, grabbing Ili will cost 2.3 infamy. Grabbing Altai will cost... no infamy? Nobody live here? No, people live here. That's weird. I don't know what that's about. I think I'm gonna give it a little time. I'd love to get both, but again, I don't want to go above 25 infamy, as always. Great game is in our favor, but is slowly shifting back towards Britain due to that thing that we've been discussing. So let's see. Ever since I took over Persia, I've been kicking around with closing in on high infamy. Ooh, British aristocratic revolt. Well, that's fun. I don't have an ability to get involved in this, do I? I don't. Well, it is what it is. The ethics of exploitation. The government's attempt to pass the Colonial Resettlement law has brought the ethics of colonialism to the forefront of public debate. We have no right to interfere, control, or exploit. They say we bring civilization. We bring misery and oppression. We rig the entire social economic structures of the colonies to serve our selfish needs. Colonial resettlement is morally correct. Good chance of a reduction in enactment success chance, but better chance of an increase. Or we can concede some of their points. Lower chance of a large increase, but lower chance of a decrease. I'm going to go with the second one. Hey, we got our 20% regardless. Very cool. I need to queue in some more government admin, because I'm going to need it for all the institutions that I'm trying to institute. Let's see. We got a bunch in Ingria, but we don't have a lot of available infrastructure there. Let's go ahead and build some, not a lot in Tula either. A lot of the areas I've been sort of going to as my defaults have been, I've gotten out of my ability to build them. Actually, am I building ones in Moscow? No. So let's go ahead and get started on some in my areas. We'll build one in Ingria, and we'll build a couple levels in Moscow, because Moscow is the capital from a certain standpoint. And then we'll build one each in Kursk and Tambov, and Saratov still has plenty of space. And I think I'm going to put the government admins... I think I'm going to put this other set of railways below. So we'll do the expansion in Moldavia and Wallachia. We'll put the port in Primorye. And then we'll get our government admins. Is that right? No. I'm going to put 2 government admins at the top here. Actually, 3. And then we'll get our other stuff going. Because government admin doesn't actually take that long to build. And that'll get us some extra bureaucracy, and then we'll have a little bit more later. Oh my goodness. Look at all these events. Prussian talent. We see an opportunity to call in the obligation that Prussia owes us by requesting the service of one of their commanders, Leonard Wolferman. Much as I would love that guy, I don't generally do this. An obligation is worth more than the skills of one man. A bout of weakness. Whilst on holiday, Tsarevich Nikolai Romanov has been struck by a bout of rapidly worsening health. Doctors fear for the life of the rapidly weakening Tsarevich. That's the prince, the heir apparent, the Tsar's son, Nikolai. He has been beset by illness whilst traveling amidst the shore of the Mediterranean, betrayed by the salt winds which had been praised for their medicinal nature. He lay wrapped in blankets, shivering despite the sweat that dripped from his brow and soaked the pillow beneath him. The nurse standing by the bed could hear his words squeezed through convulsing lips, but could make no sense of them at all. His last days must be made warm and comfortable. He dies. Aleksandr Romanov appears in Russia. Okay, but Alexander, the current guy, is still running things. And his younger brother, Alexander, that'll be the third, will be running things. Oh, interesting. So there's an event to put historical characters in the line of succession. That's cool. Cause without a rebel. Although Georgy Orlov is still fighting for his cause, no one is following him anymore. Despondent Orlov has stated publicly that remarking that he may give up his activism altogether. So this is the guy leading the professional army thing. What's the point? Speakers only have any speak to empty halls and in empty chairs. There's no crowds, no banners. If anyone pays attention, they never understand anything we're preaching. What reason is there to stay here? We're all stuck doing nothing. Perhaps you can find greener pastures elsewhere, or no time for timidity. The movement needs drastic changes. I'm going to go with the second one. We'll see what we get. We have a 10% chance of minus 10% support. We have 33% chance each, 1/3 chance each, of plus 10 support, plus minus 10 support, and plus 10 radicalism. I'm going to go with the second one, and we'll see what happens. And then last we have buy or else. A group representing those within the industrialists with an interest in the wood trade have begun lobbying the government for action against the Ottoman Empire, citing hostile trade practices. They've been in and out of the Foreign Ministry's office all morning. Men of wealth and status, all known to the ministry, all reciting the same complaint. The Ottoman trade war, impediment to the free movement of goods, and seizure of unrealized gains. Just as he stood to flick the lock closed for a day, another knock rung out. The energy flowed out of him all at once, nearly driving him to fall into the carpet. With a grimace, he forced himself to take another step forward and fling open the door. Yes, sir, if you would please have a seat. It is only understandable. Industrialist joins the Anti-Ottoman Association. We will not shift our stance on command. Now, this weakens and angers the industrialists. I can put them in there. That's fine. I can have the industrialists in the anti-Ottoman lobby. The anti-Ottoman lobby is a pretty good one for us overall in terms of the things we want to do. And we have diplomatic ties with the British aristocratic revolt. They're cooperative, but I don't think that's going to do anything for me. So, still working on those railways. Infamy is still pretty solid. Attitude of Kandahar is now loyal. Excellent. That is very good. Taking on debt, not worried about that. Actually, now's a good time for me to get scrappy in northern Central Asia because the British Raj because Great Britain is in the middle of a war. On the other hand, though, I'm definitely going to wait until the war itself proper starts. Oh, interesting. Brazil's supporting the rebels, as are the Ottomans. That's neat. That's very good. Wow, it would be 20 infamy to go after Pashtunistan. Hey, there's nitroglycerin. Wonderful. So this unlocks a new production method for our explosives factories. And another one for our mines. And we're in adoption. Just increasing all of the mining production methods. So what does that do to the explosives industry? Explosives are expensive, so we'll need to get... Actually, I think I'm going to leave the private sector to build... Oh my gosh, their queue is so long. But I don't want to... I'm going to leave it for the private sector. I'm going to leave it, and in the meantime, we'll import some explosives from Prussia. We can get a very good supply of explosives from the Prussians. And now we've got some better bureaucracy, so that this will... Let me see, we're at 521. Each level takes 606, actually. So we're still going to need to build more bureaucracy once this finishes. And it's going to finish pretty soon. So actually, I don't think I have any choice. I need to throw these 3 in at the top in order to avoid having a financial problem. Which is a shame. I want to finish building up these buildings in Moldavia. How are we here? We're still at 189. It's not increasing right now. It's not increasing, and I just need to increase it. What if I just ran at it? What if I just ran? What if I was just like, give me Uighurstan? Well, they wouldn't accept for one thing. Colonial enthusiasm. Let's see. The news that the government intends to pass the Colonial Resettlement law has gotten great enthusiasm among those that are eager to exploit the new and distant lands. Profit and adventure lie in wait for all those brave enough to embark with us. An untamed world awaits us, just waiting for us to deliver some good Russian civilization to it. And if the natives object, make sure you have your rifle close at hand. Slow down, the law isn't signed yet, 20% enactment chance. We'll take our rightful place on the world stage, 10% prestige. Or load the ships we depart for distant shores, 50% colonial growth speed. That's interesting. I'm going to opt for the colonial growth speed, and we'll see if we can't get it done fast and start colonizing Turkmenia. That said, reputation is pretty solid. I'm going to try to grab Altai and Ely. I think it's the right time. I am going to force a diplomatic play. And I'm going to throw the Ely war goal in there and add it to the primary demand. I think they will back down. Uighurstan does not have any battalions. So I'm just going to put... I'm going to put my usual 2 armies on the border. Might be overkill, but that's okay. There's no kill like overkill. We got more iron mines built in Moldavia, and we're continuing to build up more stuff, so... Here's hoping that'll work. What I really hope is that they just back down, and I can just grab what I want. And then I can codify the Chinese border, and... Let me see. Other countries need to lose claims. Can I look at state claims anywhere? The Heavenly Kingdom has a state claim on Primorye and Amur, as well as ones on Ely and Altai. So how can I get Heavenly Kingdom to give up their claims? I know that's something you kind of have to do through a diplomatic play. Huh. I'm not sure how to make this happen. Foreign political lobby formed. An anti-Russian... An anti-Russian league in Wallachia? Oh, no. I want them to be my friends. Gosh darn it. Tuvan attitude improved. Excellent. I'm going to propose an investment agreement. And Uighurstan backs down. Excellent. Tuva has also accepted that thing. So, let me see. I definitely need to increase my leverage over them. But anyway, let's get grassroots support. The political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for colonial resettlement has spread like wildfire across Russia, spurred on by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small-time social clubs. They're backing what now? Well, who are we to complain? While their support was never a prerequisite for success, it sure doesn't hurt to have it either. Public enthusiasm expedites reform, 10% stronger armed forces, or use this common ground to calm the masses. 20% of lower certain pops will only in Odessa become more loyalist. I'm going to do the first one. That'll be fine. So once we've got colonial resettlement, we'll run it professional army. And there's postal savings. A nice technology to have, not a critical one. So, new mandate available. I guess at this point, we'll just go straight into vassalization 2. Extra income transfer from subjects. I don't particularly need that. I don't know if that was the right call, to be completely honest. Maybe I'll start saving up for once I've got enough members in my union here. So, what is leverage looking like over Moldavia now? It's still increasing. We're doing a lot of building stuff there. Let me see. How many buildings have they got total? We've got quite a few. Okay, so these ones are held by Turkey. These are the ones built by us. And then we got some mines built by us as well. British aristocratic revolt now leads the British Empire. Okay, so the aristocratic revolt won. So let's see what Great Britain is now. They're a constitutional empire, a wealth-voting monarchy. That's what they've always been. Led by the landowners and the rural folk. Interesting. And they're the number 2 great power with France at the top, which is wild. That's very interesting. I should build some railways in Tuva. I'm a little short on influence all of a sudden. Oh, because Great Britain's gone and now I'm not rivals with Great Britain. So, hey, there's colonial resettlement. Perfect. So, interesting though, because their prestige is much lower though. We're doing better in the Great Game overall. So I'm going to get started working on professional army. The Gentry Assembly will be unhappy, but the movement will be happy. And that's all we've got time for today. Friends, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.